I believe everybody has the capability of growing, changing, and developing, but we cannot do that on a bed of lies. We cannot do that if you're pretending to agree with everyone. We cannot do that if you're unwilling to say no, but you'd rather lie about it. We cannot do that if you're just putting up a facade to appear nicer to other people so that they validate you. Instead, we need to build up your own validation. Who you actually are. Who you're called to be. You standing in your power, saying, I know who I am. Are you a people pleaser, or are you focused on your own ego? What does this actually look like? What does it actually mean? Some people use and throw around the term people pleaser really easily, and it typically is used as just a word of, well, I'm just very agreeable. I just give in. I just don't actually push back on certain things. And oftentimes we'll find people who have been in a narcissistic relationship, who have been stuck inside the toxicity, that will say, I'm just a people pleaser. But what does it actually mean? What does it actually look like when we dive deeper underneath the surface? And you might not understand what a people pleaser is 100%. You might just heard the phrase thrown around. Well, I want you to think about and consider the possibility of you maybe being a people pleaser, or maybe you know someone who is a people pleaser. Let's talk about it and let's look a little bit today and see what it is. So if you just pull up and you just Google, you can find a bunch of different things on it. We just pulled up one from Psychology Today just to be able to walk through, okay, what are the signs of it being a people pleaser, someone actually being? Well, first one, it says you pretend to agree with everyone. No, you might not agree with everyone, but simply you just pretend. You just show, hey, I'm agreeing with everyone. This is a piece. The second one is you feel responsible for how other people feel. Oftentimes this connects with the empaths in the room of, well, I feel responsible for how they feel. I feel responsible because they feel this way because I did something. There's oftentimes this piece of thinking that you have the ability to make someone happy or not happy. Like that's part of the problem inside the people pleaser part, but we're going to talk about this. You apologize often, like it's a piece where you felt maybe unsafe, where you have to apologize no matter what. Whether it's like you just blame yourself for everything, whether you just fear that other people are blaming you, whether you just fear the judgment piece, there's all these different aspects of it. Number 4 is you feel burdened by the things you have to do. You're in charge of how you spend your time. But if you're a people pleaser, there's a piece where your schedule is filled with everyone else's agenda. Everything else of what everybody else wants you to do, and you don't have anything that you can do simply because, number 5, you can't say no. It's like impossible for you to say no. It's hard for you to actually say no to other people. Like you'd rather like figure out a way to do like a white lie and actually get away from it than you would actually say no. You get to a place where, number 6, you're super uncomfortable if someone is angry at you. It's just a piece where like it's something incredibly difficult internally. No, but you can't stand like the thought of someone being upset at you. And sometimes you'll do whatever you need to, even compromising your own values to make sure that they're no longer mad at you. They're no longer upset. Number 7 is you act like the people around you. Okay, so there's the aspects here of like you could be around other people and it bring out different sides of your personality. But when we're talking about people pleasers, oftentimes they're going to sabotage their own goals. Oftentimes they'll have this self-destructive behavior in trying to do what they need to do to make other people feel comfortable in social situations. For instance, they use the example here, like people pleasers eat more when they think it'll make other people happy. Like I'll do this even if it hurts me, if it makes you happy. Number 8, you need praise to feel good. While praise and kind words can be something that helps everyone feel good, people pleasers depend on the validation. Okay, they depend on that. It comes into a piece of like self-worth and confidence. It rests just on what other people think of you. And number 9, you go to great lengths to be able to avoid conflict. Like no matter what you have to do, it's like you have to be able to get to a place where there's not a conflict, even if it means sacrificing the things you believe in. And number 10, you don't admit when your feelings are hurt. All right, so how many of you right now can identify with this list? If you can identify with one or more, then type in just the number below. You're like, oh yeah, four of them stuck out to me. 5 of them stuck out to me. Yeah, I think I'm all 10. Stick those into the chat just so other people can see. And so you also have this gauge of what are you actually feeling, seeing, experiencing when we talk through this piece of people pleaser. Now, it's interesting because oftentimes people will use the word people pleaser as this like white flag of abuse. And this white flag of abuse saying, oh, it wasn't my fault because I'm a people pleaser. I fell in love with this person because I'm a people pleaser. This just happened to me because I'm a people pleaser. Almost like it's just like a carte blanche pass to be able to say, hey, this is why it happened. Like, I struggle with this. And so I need you to understand, even when we listed off these different things, it's a little bit more than just a struggle. It becomes a bigger issue to the simple fact that you can't actually make choices for yourself. You can't actually step up to who you actually are. You can't actually stand in your power because you abdicated that to everybody else in your life. Whether that's your schedule, your emotions, your feelings, your opinions, all of that has been abdicated to another person. So you run into this piece that people are like, people pleasers, narcissists. Yeah, you can see why a narcissist would love a people pleaser. Narcissists just eat them up. Simply because that person doesn't know who they are, is not willing to stand up for who they are, and as a result, the narcissist can condition and constrain and manipulate that person to do what they want. Simply because the people pleaser is going to be too afraid of conflict to actually stand up for themselves. Now, it's wild because people pleasers seem to want to die on the hill of humility. Like, die on the hill of like, oh, well, this is just who I am. I just give of myself so much. And when we think about this and break it down, I need you to understand that that's not a wonderful piece of you. In moderation and with boundaries, that could be a huge gift. But the fact that you've let it be something that is used and abused you is not your crowning achievement in life. Some of you are not going to like this video because it has conflict. And if you're a people pleaser, you're going to run away from this video. Just random thought there. This piece of people pleaser, I need you to understand what's driving it. There's a piece of validation. There's a piece of need to be liked. This validation piece of like, I need to have something else show me that I have worth because I don't see the worth inside myself. I don't see the worth of who I actually am. So therefore, I need someone else to validate it. Part of this piece of people pleaser has to do with your own ego. Yeah, I said that. Has to do with part of your own ego not getting validated. But the hard part is you start looking to other people to validate your ego, to validate who you are, to validate your opinions, your feelings, your needs. And when you do this, you abdicate your life. Like you give up all rights to who you are because you say, hey, show me that I'm worthy. Show me that I'm good enough. Show me. Instead of you actually stepping up and showing you that you're good enough. Showing you that you're worthy. Building your own confidence and certainty, but instead giving that to another person. It's wild because we will look at a people pleaser and we'll give people pleasers so much of a pass. When you realize when we break it down, a lot of people pleasers are just complete liars. Yeah, some of you are clicking off this video now. Some people pleasers are just liars. Did you hear one of the things? This isn't me just making up this criteria. You'll go to great lengths to avoid conflict, even if that means like you're going to sacrifice some of your own morals. You act like the people around you. Sometimes you will put on your own mask, your own version of who you are, just to be liked. Okay, you get uncomfortable when people say that they're angry with you. You can't say no. Like inside of this, it mentions there's a good chance your schedule is filled with activities. Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Can't say no. When you actually follow through, or you either fake an illness to get out of your commitments. Like you'd rather do something like that than actually say no. Do you hear this? Like some of you need to hear this. If you're a people pleaser and you can't say no to other people, but you're using other excuses to get out of it, let's just call it what it is. And that means you're a liar. It means you're not authentic. You're not who you actually are. So as a result, you're putting on a different version. So stop playing the nice, I'm this hurt person that's just a people pleaser. Grow up and let's understand, hey, you first need to acknowledge that a lot of times you are lying. And as a result of your lying, you step into victimhood. When you step into victimhood, no one can heal you. No one can help you because you simply won't even help yourself. You pretend to agree with everyone. Pretend. You lie to agree to other people. People pleasing. It's not this amazing thing. It's not this thing of people saying like, oh, I'm just a people pleaser. There's like an empath saying, I'm just an empath. That's why I have no boundaries and everyone abuses me. No, that means you just have crappy boundaries and you don't know who you are. So as a result, you keep letting people abuse you. But stop using the word empath to justify the fact that you don't have boundaries. Let's create boundaries. Let's build boundaries. Let's actually build you up so your confidence, your clarity, your certainty actually come from you versus in the hands of an abuser. People pleaser is not this wonderful thing that you can hold on to being like, I'm just a people pleaser, so as I drown with the ship, at least I'm pleasing other people. You're still drowning. You're still dying. You're still eroding as a person because your validation, your who you are, your self-worth, all of these things have to be given to you. People pleaser means you're on oxygen support. It means you're not really living. You're on oxygen support, relying on the next person to validate you, to validate your opinions, validate your feelings, validate who you are, not have conflict, but just validate you. And as a result, you have to validate everybody else so that you feel better about yourself. Probably right now, while I'm recording this, is this is probably gonna be like the lowest viewed video ever. Because people are like, forget this guy. He's just attacking victims. I'm not. I'm attacking victimhood, 100%. You want to come into my world and you want to be a victim in the fact of victimhood, saying you can't change your circumstances? This is not the place for you, because I believe everybody can change. I believe everybody has a purpose. I believe everybody is called to rise and expand who they actually are. And if you want to sit in the fact saying, oh, I'm just a people pleaser, so I can't change, this isn't the place for you. Because I believe everybody has the capability of growing, changing, and developing, but we cannot do that on a bed of lies. We cannot do that if you're pretending to agree with everyone. We cannot do that if you're unwilling to say no, but you'd rather lie about it. We cannot do that if you're just putting up a facade to appear nicer to other people so that they validate you. Instead, we need to build up your own validation. Who you actually are. Who you're called to be. You standing in your power, saying, I know who I am. That's what we have to build up. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis, helping women actually find out who they are and stand in confidence and certainty so that no man has to define you. No man has to actually support you. No man has to give you this validation that you're looking for. And you don't have to die on the hill of humility thinking that you're a people pleaser, satisfying your ego from getting validated by someone else, instead of the fact you know who you are and you know who you're called to be. If I can help you with this, and if this resonated or if this pissed you off, go to realmotivationscoaching.com, because I want to be able to help you. And I got a video there to be able to talk you through how I actually help free women from toxicity. Check it out, realmotivations.com. You have a blessed and wonderful day.